This is Fran Halloran, the Money Coach. Grow with the point as we build on 10 incredible years of community local radio. We've built an environment where our listeners are our family. Are you a small business with big dreams? Join the tremendous stable of advertising partners at The Point. Connect with Kevin Cohen and brainstorm a tailored strategy to escalate your business growth using the powerful platform of The Point. Call Kev directly at 563-8558. Teaming with The Point, you can make the next year your best year.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces. Summer sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com.
It's Friday night in South Carolina, and that means high school football across the Palmetto State. Welcome to the Founders Federal High School Scoreboard on the Sports Talk Media Network. We'll bring you scores and reports from every region of the state with expert analysis from David Shelton and interviews with coaches throughout the night. The High School Scoreboard is proudly brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders. Now, from the Scoreboard Studios in Columbia, here's your host, Phil Kornblut.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the High School Football Scoreboard here on the Sports Talk Media Network. Brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. So happy to have you with us wherever you are dialed in across the state. We had a lot of high school football across South Carolina tonight, despite some inclement weather. Then again, some parts of the state, a lot of teams taking the night off, a lot of open dates, as David Shelton pointed out on Sports Talk earlier tonight, especially down in his area, Low Country area. A lot of teams taking the bye week this week, really throughout the state, except for the upstate. The upstate's pretty loaded with games tonight, but many other parts of the state, not so many. But those games that are being played, we will give you the scores. In fact, let's go ahead and jump into some final scores. Then David Shelton will be joining us. Then we'll jump to the phones and start getting some live reports in from reporters. So far tonight, the finals we've gotten in the upstate, Ware Shoals 34, Clear Dot Charter, nothing. West Oak 27, Greenwood Christian, nothing. Carolina Forest 54, Southside Christian 13, Clinton 60, Union County nothing. Over in Football City, I-77 corridor, Northwestern beat Catawba Ridge 56-20. Midlands, Fairfield Central 35, Andrew Jackson nothing. Lexington 35, Lawrence nothing. Sumter High 57, Lugoff Elgin 42, North Central 42, Buford nothing, Ridgeview 46, Westwood 8. Around the CSRA, nothing in yet final-wise. In the PD, Central 34, Cheraw 27, Low Country, Cross 36, Branchville 8, Somerville 48, Goose Creek nothing. As far as what?
Got a Billy Baker hot call from Northwood Academy.
Well, let's stop whatever it is we're doing and go to Billy Baker with the hot call. Little Skeeza hot call action tonight, Billy. Welcome in from the High School Sports Report.
Phil, the first time that the Hammond Skyhawks have lost in 5 years. They lost 7-6 in 2020. To First Baptist, coached by Johnny Waters. Johnny Waters brings in his Northwood Academy team tonight, and the mile upset beat Hammond 23-10. The story of the game is Kevin Johnson, the quarterback who transferred from Fort Dorchester, over 200 yards passing tonight, and his favorite receiver was Drew. Okay, and Northwood is now 5-1. In all honesty, these will probably be the final two teams playing for the state title in Skeeza 4A. But I want to give you Johnny Waters live from the field here in Hammond. Here he is, Johnny Waters, upsetting Hammond, the first team that they lost to in South Carolina in 5 years.
How about
here
that?
He is, Coach Waters.
All right, Coach Waters. Talked to him years ago.
Yeah, how you doing?
Coach, where you been?
Oh, wow! It was great. I will tell you one thing. It played out just kind of how I thought it was going to play out, and how I told the boys, how I told them in the yesterday after the walkthrough and pregame. It was just a slugfest, and it was going to ebb and flow, and whoever the toughest team survived, and that's what. It wasn't pretty on either side, but man, it was great to get the W.
Man,
we're excited.
You hold Hammond to 10. That's a great night by your defense. What was the defensive game plan?
Well, it was. They have two different types of quarterbacks. They got one that really runs, and they got one that throws. So we just kind of did that. And number 11, the Ross kid, who's really, really good. We just had to keep. We kind of put our guy on him and kind of try to control him.
Wow, tell us about the development of this program at Northwood Academy. That listening to Billy, it sounds like you're going to be right there in late November, December, playing for a championship.
Well, so I think it's probably well known. We came here from First Baptist, and I got almost a whole staff now, and we got here 3 years ago, and they hadn't won a game in 29 straight games. They were 0-29, so we came in. First year we went 6-5, and then last year went 10-3. We lost to Hammond 16-0, and we lost to Portugal in the semifinals. And we got everybody back. We still on offense. We're still relatively low. We start 8 underclassmen on offense, and defense is a senior laden side. But we're focused. We had a great week. We've had this is what we're playing for.
Yeah. How have your people, like your students, your fans there, how have they responded to this sudden turnaround, this sudden success?
Well, that's the part. I tell you, it's crazy over there right now. I've been in 4 state championships. I've won 2, and I felt more pressure the first game. I was at Northwood. They're 0-29, and I get there at 7 o'clock, and I look around during bleachers and all, everything's full. They had over 1,400 people at the first game. People were crying and all. They were so hungry. They just needed somebody just to show them. But I tell you right now, to be honest with you, and it's like any program, just not Northwood. It takes the leadership at the top, and it starts at our head of school, who's Dr. Christy Furrow, all the way down to administration and all. I mean, with our students, our student athletes, the study hall, the working in the classroom, and relates onto the field too.
Well, congratulations. That's a monumental win because, as Billy pointed out, and we all know, Hammond doesn't lose very often to anybody, much less in state. So that's a great accomplishment.
Yeah. We call them Hammond University.
There you go. Well, it's good talking to you again. I don't think I've talked to you since the Mikey Dukes days. So.
You remember those days? Yep,
absolutely.
I'm leaving in the morning. We're flying out. My wife and I are flying out to go see. You remember Sincere Brown? He's at Colorado right now.
Yeah,
he played for me at First Baptist. We're flying out to go see him play tomorrow.
How about
in
that?
Colorado.
Well, you have a safe trip, and it's good talking to you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, sir. And thank you, Billy Baker, the Billy Baker hot call from the High School Sports Report. Let's bring on David Shelton. I didn't know Coach Waters was and welcome, David. Great to have you with us. I didn't know Coach was over there handling that Northwood team now.
Where have you been? I'll tell you what. Well, I guess I know because, 1, we're good buddies, and 2, I live in Charleston, so I cover them. But he's done a great job. They've done a great job with the portal. They picked up some really good players, like the quarterback from Fort Dorchester. But they do it right. They coach them right. They treat them right, and this is I guess a mild upset, but I think a lot of people that follow Skeeza football thought Northwood could win this game. Hammond is good, but they are not what they've been the last 6 or 7 years. And Northwood has a lot of really good players, and like you said, they'll probably play each other again, and there'll be a lot more on the line. But Northwood needs to enjoy this win. This was huge.
David, what's funny is you just mentioned the word with a high school team, the portal, and I didn't even flinch. I didn't even flinch when you talked about, like, they use the portal transfer from Fort. It's just become part of our way of life, and even at the high school football level. Don't even think twice about it now.
Yeah, and I bring it up quite a bit, but I try not to be negative about it because it is the way it is right now. If they start paying the players, then I'm going to have a little different attitude. I think it'll be time for me to get out of it. But transfers are legal now, and school choice and all that, and so you get what you can get. And Somerville has got a lot of them. Oceanside's got a lot of them, and Northwood's got quite a few. But I don't. When I say transfer portal, I don't mean it in a negative context. I just mean they got players from other schools that are, they're building a program, and that's basically the way it is.
All right, let me give you some other final scores, and then we'll start getting to some reports from guys who've been covering games tonight, but some more finals here. This from WRHI up in the Rock Hill area. They do a great job with their final scores. Indian Land beat Rock Hill 33-9, and some of these games are still in progress. Fourth quarter, Clover 27, Fort Mill 26. AC Flora over York 27-6. Richland Northeast and Lancaster are tied at 14. And Chester beat Keenan 35-6. Cheraw falls to Central 34-27. Fairfield Central 35, Andrew Jackson nothing. North Central 42, Buford nothing. Gaffney and Spartanburg are in the fourth, tied at 14. In the fourth, Dorman is leading Burns 33-21. In the fourth, Greenwood over Hillcrest 24-20. In the fourth, Hanna and Malden tied at 21. Greenville leading J.O. Mann 20-0 in the third. And looking for some others we haven't given you yet. Ridgeview 46, Westwood 8. In the fourth, White Knoll 33, Fort Dorchester nothing. Blythewood beat Spring Valley 46-0. Somerville over Goose Creek 48-0. Berkeley leading St. James in the fourth 54-0. Myrtle Beach 28, Cane Bay 21 in the fourth. Camden 43, Dreer nothing in the fourth. Seneca 16, Daniel 6 in the fourth. Hartsville and Wilson 14-14 third quarter. Westside beat Abbeville 28-20. Clinton over Union County 60-0. A few more finals. Belton Honeypath over Chapman 45-0. And in the fourth quarter, Boiling Springs leading Eastside 42-14. Fourth quarter, Broome 40, Blacksburg 7. At the half, Pickens was leading Berea 35-0. In the fourth quarter, Blue Ridge 62, Landrum 28. Let's see what else. These are from Channel 7 in Spartanburg, these scores. Crescent defeats Liberty 34-27. Dixie leading Towns County of Georgia 21-14 fourth quarter. Greenville 34, Man nothing. West Oak 27, Greenwood Christian nothing. Carolina Forest 54, Southside Christian 13. Greer 30, Travelers Rest 7 in the fourth quarter. And Easley beat Woodmont 30-23. Also, David, Wren 35, Woodruff 7. Didn't see that one coming.
No, I didn't see that one coming. I thought Wren was pretty good, but to hold Woodruff to one touchdown is pretty remarkable because those guys can score.
Update on Gaffney Spartan High, fourth quarter, Indians 21, Vikings 14, and Riverside 34, Wade Hampton 9 in the fourth. We'll be right back.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love, and you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
Life insurance isn't for you. It's for those you love the most. For a complete insurance review, call Buddy Bridges in Lawrence County at 864-923-2174, serving Lawrence, Clinton, and the shores of Lake Greenwood.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
You work hard for your money. Shouldn't your money work hard for you too? Think about all the hours you've put in, the late nights, the early mornings, the dedication to your craft. Now imagine those dollars doing some of the heavy lifting for a change, growing quietly in the background while you focus on what matters most. Whether you're saving for a dream vacation, a new home, or just building a cushion for peace of mind, putting your money to work is one of the smartest moves you can make. Open a certificate at Founders Federal Credit Union and earn more with your savings. For a limited time only, Founders is offering 18-month certificates at 4.32% annual percentage yield and 18-month IRA certificates at 4.58% annual percentage yield. To get started, visit foundersfcu.com/dividend rates or one of our many convenient office locations. All you need is $500 to get started, but don't delay. These rates won't last. Open your certificate today. Your future self will thank you for opening a certificate at Founders. Federally insured by the NCUA. Membership qualification required. $500 minimum balance. 18-month term. Dividends compound quarterly. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Straight Up Sports is simply all sports, all the time. Straight Up Sports is a collection of retired and award-winning sports writers and sports broadcasters from around South Carolina, like Bob Gillespie from the State Newspaper, Scott Kiefer from the Greenville News, and Mark Sturgis from ESPN Upstate. Straight Up Sports is about the stories, just like the days gone by with no editors nor managers involved. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter or online at straightupsports.net.
When South Carolina's best high school football players take the field at the Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, they're backed by a powerful team of their own. As proud title sponsors, your local co-ops celebrate more than just a game. It's a tradition where talent shines, where teamwork matters, and where community spirit takes center stage. Don't miss the 78th Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, December 13th at Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium in Myrtle Beach, powered by your electric cooperative.
All right, welcome back, everybody. High school football scoreboard brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Another final. T.L. Hanna has defeated Malden in overtime, 28-21. 28-21. T.L. Hanna with that win. Okay, we'll update other finals as they come into us. Let's get back out to the phones. Monty Dutton with the story tonight. Not much to say here, Monty. I'm going to save you from going touchdown by touchdown, because that would take the entire show. 60-0, Clinton rolls it up on Union County.
Yeah, it was like that old Johnny Cash song, one piece at a time. You type up the scoring summary, you'll take the whole staff, and the title will weigh 60 pounds. But Clinton, of course, it was raining throughout. I took notes, but the notes are all liquid and blurry. I can tell you that Clinton scored on a 50-yard bomb from I'm sitting here, to P.J. McGowan, and Javen Cook had 2 touchdowns. P.J. Cromer had 2 touchdowns. Zai Butler had a touchdown. For the first time this year, Clinton hit more extra points than they missed. And so the final 9 touchdowns. Another was a Trineus Williams defensive tackle scoop and score. It was 40-0 at halftime. And I had noticed earlier this year, I was looking at the stat sheets today, and I noticed that in all of Clinton's wins, they averaged 9 yards a carry, and all their losses, they averaged about 6 a carry. Of course, Clinton is 3-3. And they finally get to the region schedule. And I would say that Clinton playing a schedule against the first 6 teams are all in a higher classification. I think that if you look at it, you'd say that that for Corey Fountain, it's done just about what he expected. It has his team rounding into shape. And not only that, this game tonight was valuable because Clinton has an increasing injury list like everybody else in the state. And I think tonight's game was valuable for getting a bunch of playing time to players who are going to be needed for the rest of the year. The Red Devils play the Red Devils next week as Liberty comes to Clinton for homecoming. It was not a joyous homecoming at Union tonight. I figured there was about 2,000 people there, and when it was 40-0 in half, I think most people found out who the homecoming queen was and headed on home. So it's hard for me to imagine how things have fallen at Union County and Lawrence, because to me that both of those schools have histories and good athletes, and I just don't know what's happened. But 10 years ago, I remember Union beating Clinton 62-7 before Fountain came to Clinton, and it just goes to show you that things change.
Mm-hmm.
Things are great at Clinton right now, but you better enjoy your success because it's always fleeting. And another thing, when I was listening before you called, and I'll get off there because you've got many exciting and important games, but I was thinking about this notion of the high school transfer portal. And I thought to myself, okay, I know people transfer, but is there actually a portal? Do you actually sign up to be in the high school portal?
Yeah.
Is it really a portal?
Yeah.
I know I'm just talking semantics here,
right.
But every time I hear that talking about they got the guy from the portal, I was thinking about where is this portal and where can I find who's in it?
Let me ask David Shelton. Thank you, Monty. Have a great weekend. Great hearing from you. Do they high school? They don't, unlike the college thing, they don't sign anything, or they just up and leave, right? They just up and leave.
We call it I call it the transfer portal because there's nothing else you can call it. No, they train now. When word gets out that certain players from certain schools are thinking about transferring, I'm sure more than one school gets involved, of course. So that would make it a portal type situation, but it's not a portal. It's kids transferring, but it's easier to say transfer portal than to say legal transfer system by the high school league.
Mm-hmm.
So but you know what? Not to change the subject, Daniel just beat Seneca 27-16 and scored all 27 their points in the fourth quarter.
Ouch.
And Gray Collegiate has beaten North Augusta, handing them their first loss tonight. So I think that score was 34-27.
Well, hold that thought, because we've got Chris Deering standing by right now from Prep Red Zone, who was at that game. Let's go right to him. Great lead in, David. Chris, welcome in, sir. Tell us about your game. Give us that final, if you would.
It was 41-27, Gray Collegiate. Really dominant second half by the War Eagles. They were down 20-17 at the half, but the story of this game is Gray Collegiate's freshman quarterback, Xavier Wright. He got pressed into action last week when their starter, Tyler Waller, went down. Played fairly well last week, but tonight, 5 touchdown passes, over 350 yards passing. He had 2 50-yard touchdowns tonight, one to Royce Williamson. That would be Troy Williamson's son, and another to Corey Gleaton. And then those two also hooked up on a 91-yard touchdown pass. So Xavier Wright has really made a statement here in the last 2 weeks to possibly get playing time even when Waller is back healthy. But, man, what a fantastic performance by that freshman. I think he's 14 years old, and he looked the part tonight.
Man, that's a big win for Gray because North Augusta, I think, was undefeated, and Gray's
undefeated, number 3 in the state.
Yep.
And their running back, Mike Doe, he had 252 yards at the half. he ended up with about 325 or 330.
My goodness.
Because they had to start throwing the ball in the second half. I'm pretty certain, I don't have all the stats right in front of me, about 1,000 yards of total offense in this game tonight. So Mike Doe is impressive. That offensive line for North Augusta is really good, but North Augusta turned it over a couple times in the second half. That helped Gray Collegiate get the lead, and once they got the lead, they were just able to build on it.
Chris, we thank you very much, my friend. Have a great weekend. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Chris Deering from the Prep Red Zone. Boy, you got some offensive players in that game. Quarterback with 5 touchdown passes, over 350, and a running back with over 350 on the ground. Unbelievable. What a second half by Gray Collegiate. They win it 41-27. Crestwood beat Lower Richland 27-14. Trinity Collegiate over Northside Christian 27-0. Midland Valley beat Brooklyn Casey 34-7. Darlington 43, Lakewood 0. Carolina Forest 54, Southside Christian 13. And we'll be back with more after this quick break.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids. I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term.
City and state officials that 13 federal agencies will arrive in phases, including the National Guard. He says that members will not make arrests and will not be harmed unless enforcement requests it. This is SRN News.
Is war in the Middle East the revival of an ancient conflict recorded in the Bible?
The nation of Israel is a resurrected nation. So what if there was going to be a resurrection of another people, an enemy people of Israel?
Dinesh D'Souza's new film, The Dragon's Prophecy, is in theaters 2 nights only, October 6th and 8th.
We came back to a land that was largely barren and empty, and we brought it back to life, and we're going to keep it.
Tickets not sold in theaters. Get tickets only at thedragonsprophecyfilm.com.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge.
Do you crave growth for your business? That's where The Point comes in. Fran Halloran here. Kevin Cohen and the other local hosts like me have worked to create a space where listeners transform into family. Are you a local business aiming for the stars? You need to get with Kevin and let him help create an individualized blueprint for your growth using the influential stage of The Point Radio. Reach out directly at 563-8558. Teaming with The Point, make this year extraordinary.
Hello, this is Stacy Huff, host of Huff Nation Sports Zone, each and every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 100.7 FM, The Point, and also 1470 a.m. It'll be a fun trip around the world of sports. Huff Nation Sports Zone, check it out.
This Panther Update is brought to you by UNC Charlotte.
The Panthers will have their first opportunity to stack victories as they play at New England on Sunday, coming off last weekend's victory over Atlanta. I'm Jim Zoki with a Panthers Update after this.
Charlotte's momentum has a name, UNC Charlotte. 32,000 students strong, ranked among the nation's top 75 public universities, recognized at the highest level for research, unmatched access to Fortune 500 companies, built for a top-tier city. This isn't typical higher ed. The difference is scale. The difference is momentum. The difference is Charlotte, UNC Charlotte.
The Panthers hit what is essentially the quarter mark of the regular season as they visit New England on Sunday. The Patriots are led by second-year quarterback Drake May, the Charlotte native and former North Carolina star. He's currently fifth in the NFL in passing yards and Panthers coach Dave Canales on what he sees in the young QB.
A big, strong athlete. He's got a phenomenal arm. He can run. And what I've seen him do is in this, limited sample size, but what I've seen him do is playing really clean football. And, for the most part, just executing their offense. And he's got some special throws in there.
New England turned the ball over 5 times and losing to Pittsburgh 21-14 last week. Meanwhile, the Panthers come in off their 30-0 shutout of the Falcons. Starting tight end J.T. Sanders suffered a high ankle sprain in that one. He'll be out for several weeks. That means more reps for Tommy Tremble, who assesses the Patriots' defense under first-year coach Mike Vrabel.
I mean, those guys are an active group, whether it's the linebacker, safeties, seeing them in the box, we see how active they are as a group. And I think as long as we're on alert, on our toes for the entire game and knowing our jobs, I think we should be fine.
I'm Jim Zoki on the Carolina Panthers Radio Network.
This Panther Update has been brought to you by UNC Charlotte, ranked among the nation's top 75 public universities. The difference is Charlotte. UNC Charlotte.
The only afternoon local talk radio in Columbia is the Afternoon Drive with Kev. It's all about you. It's your phone calls. It's my challenging topics. All the news, traffic, and weather weekdays, 4 p.m. on The Point.
And welcome back into the high school football scoreboard, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union, here on the Sports Talk Media Network. Phil Kornblut, David Shelton, and the plumber, Josh Cohen. Get back out to reports here in just a moment. Just checking to see if we have any new final scores to pass along to you this week in high school football. As we see, the Marion Mullins game was postponed in the PD area tonight. So that's one that has bitten the bullet because of the weather. Central beat Sharon 34-27 in the PD. And checking the Low Country, we don't have any more final scores in there just yet. So we'll continue to watch that and tell you as those things go final. Let's take another look at the Upstate here, see if we got some of these fourth quarter scores to go final. Some of them have. Might have already mentioned some of these. Otherwise, bear with me. Boiling Springs beat Eastside 42-17. Dorman has finished off Burns 33-21. BHP over Chapman 45-0. And Daniel beat Seneca 27-16. Greenwood over Hillcrest 24-20. That Hannah-Malden game, Hannah wins at 28-21. That was an overtime final. Still waiting on a final. Gaffney and Spartanburg, it's fourth quarter, 28-21. This is from Channel 7 in the Upstate. Riverside beat Wade Hampton 41-15. Easley over Woodmont 30-22. And checking for any other finals that we might have. Fourth quarter, Blue Ridge now 62, Landrum 28. Big offensive night there. And Wren, one of the big shockers of the night, Wren beat Woodruff 35-7. Before we get back to reports, David, your thoughts on the Burns and Dorman game tonight? We thought it would be a good one. Turned out to be 33-21. But this Dorman team now, they seem to be getting back to the Dorman of old here.
Yeah, this was their best win. This was their best win of the season so far. It looks like they've got a running game that is very dangerous. They played pretty good defense. They did tonight. So yeah, this was I mean, they still got to go through the rest of that region over there, but to get off with a win over Burns is big for Dorman.
All right, back to reporters. We appreciate your patience as we work our way to you. Let's go to Taylor Novinger, voice of Crestwood, on the road tonight. Lower Richland come away with a W. Welcome in, Taylor. Good job tonight there for Crestwood.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hope you're staying dry, Phil. It's kind of a wet night in South Carolina. The game was moved up to 6:30, and then right before 6 o'clock, they spotted lightning in the area. thought they kicked us out. And then we came back in. We cranked up around 6:45. So just very odd kickoff time. Most of the first half was a defensive slugfest. Crestwood did a really good job stopping Lower Richland. Didn't have much success moving the ball at all. Crestwood had a lot of success in the first half. They got down there 3 times. 2 of the drives stalled. The last one before half, they finally punched it in. Braden Bolts, the young freshman running back, with 5 power forward offers. He ran it in for a touchdown. It was 6-0 at half. Started third quarter. Crestwood did a nice job getting the ball. They received the second half kickoff, went right down and scored. Calvin Warford had 2 touchdowns in that second half. One was a 70-yard touchdown run. And the last touchdown was very interesting. Maurice Yates kind of was off his back foot, just kind of threw something up, and the ball was tipped around, and Deshaun Scriven caught it for a 60-yard touchdown. So Crestwood scored 28. That was enough to get the victory. Meanwhile, Lower Richland, Solomon Kelson had a 29-yard touchdown run, and Jordan Hargraves, the QB, had a touchdown late in the ball game. But the Knights get to 4-2 and 1-1 in region play.
Well, the great start they had a couple of losses in there, but bounced back with a nice road win tonight against a pretty good LR team. Taylor, appreciate you, man. Good hearing from you. Talk to you next week as always.
Yes, sir. Stay safe, Bill.
You too, buddy. Drive safely. We appreciate it. Let's go to Tyson's Gohagan with the story on the Barnwell game tonight. Been a while since we had a report on the War Horses. Hello, sir.
Hey, Phil. How are you doing?
We're doing great. Welcome in. What was your final tonight?
49-6. Silver Bluff was all over Barnwell tonight. Silver Bluff's got a junior running back, Draylon Brown, 5'8", 175. The first 3 times he touched the ball tonight, took it to the house. His first 3 runs were at least 60 yards or longer to start the game. Put Silver Bluff up 21-0 early in the first. Ended the first 28-0 Silver Bluff, and they just kept pouring it on from there. I'm actually filled in for old Ricky Gooden from the Big Dog tonight. He had cataract surgery this week, so I went and filled in for him tonight.
Oh my gosh, that's those are some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, you got that right. But yeah, it was all Silver Bluff. Silver Bluff's O-line just dominated all night. So did their defensive line. They got a bunch of big boys up there on the line, but they Barnwell's struggling this year. Barnwell's young.
Yeah.
Lost their quarterback last week. Fractured his ankle, I believe, and then running back got hurt last week as well. So Barnwell just banged up and really young. But Silver Bluff came in 2-3, but that team looked a lot better than 2-3 tonight.
Well, we thank you for the report. Tell Rick we hope he's doing well, and hopefully they tightened up the face a little bit too while they were working on him there. So,
yes, sir, Phil. Thank you. Y'all take care, guys.
You too. Thank you. Make you look about 20 years younger. David, you ever thought about having the face tightened there to kind of look a little younger?
No. I'm thankful for every day that my eyes open in the morning. I'll take a kidney, but I don't need a facelift.
Okay. Well, hey, if I had any good ones, I'd give you one, but I don't think you won't mind to begin with anyway. Thank you for the report. So Silver Bluff wins it over Barnwell. Yeah, he mentioned this Barnwell. They were going really, really well there for a while, David, talking about over a few seasons. But they obviously, like schools do, they hit that youth movement, and it's costing them some this year, and their quarterback's hurt.
Yeah, I mean, and in 2A, that happens a lot. They had a really good quarterback, Cam Austin, for the last couple of years that kept them in the hunt. But the quarterback this year got hurt last week, and like you just heard, they're pretty young, but they'll be back. I mean, Barnwell's had years like this over the years, and they've always bounced back. So it's a town. Is that a town of Barnwell or city of Barnwell? Whatever it is, they'll be back because they've got players, they've got kids who love football.
No doubt about it, and a great tradition and a great history. Let's head up to the upstate. We talked about that Daniel Seneca game being such a big one, And Eric Sprott from Upstate Today, up in the Upstate, joining us here on the high school football scoreboard. The Journal there in Seneca. I never know if to call it the Upstate Today or the Seneca Journal. I think it all covers exactly where you are. So we thank you for joining us, and we knew it was going to be a good ball game, and that turned out to be the case.
It did, and you're right. We've got some branding issues with the website being upstatetoday.com and being the Journal. So the Journal, upstatetoday.com, it's all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know you read out the score. It was 27-16, Daniel over Seneca, and that was a game where if you're Daniel, you're elated. If Seneca, you're sick. Seneca was up 16-0 going to the fourth quarter.
Whoa.
In this one. And, yeah, Daniel with 27 unanswered points to win the game. And that's 1 week removed from Daniel going down to Clinton, trailing 27-17 going to the fourth quarter and roaring back for a win in that one. And in my conversations with Coach Stone this week, he said their leadership council on the team they want their team to be known for being resilient. And, man, the last 2 weeks have been really, really resilient.
Yeah, I bet you he'd prefer that they get off to a better start and not drag things out to the final minutes.
I think that's fair. It was 3 really good quarters from the Seneca defense, really slowing Daniel down. Daniel defense did a really good job keeping Seneca in check. Bobcats went down and scored on their first drive with an Amari Verner touchdown run, added a field goal that made it 9-0 going to halftime, and Seneca made it 16-0 in the third with a 94-yard punt return score from Jerb Hunter, sophomore receiver. He's one of the most electric players we have in our coverage area. But the Daniel lines of scrimmage, both the offensive and defensive lines, really started to impose their will there in the fourth quarter. And Daniel went ahead for the first time with 2:16 to play with a freshman running back, Kingston Bibb, 15-yard touchdown run, part of a 100-plus-yard second half for that young man, and added a late score after a turnover on downs. You end up with that 27-16 final.
What does this mean up there in the region battle here early on in region play?
Yeah, it was a pretty huge one. Seneca, that drops them to 1-1 in the Region 2 4A. That was Daniel's opener, 1-0, and it's kind of the popular train of thought up here. Even though it's so early, this was for region supremacy. It's not quite a de facto region championship game, but Daniel's certainly the front runner now. I would think their main resistance the rest of the way in region play would be Greer, but this is a Daniel team that's won 6 straight region titles. Seneca was hoping to get on top of those region standings. They haven't had a title since 2017, which is also the last time they beat Daniel. So this one resonates really big in that region title race.
I bet. 2 good teams. We haven't heard the last of either, and we thank you, and we'll talk to you next week. Really appreciate it.
All right, Phil. Take care, my friend.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate you. All right. Some other finals from the WRHI scoreboard from up in the Rock Hill I-77 corridor. Clover beats Fort Mill 27-26. That game went back and forth. Clover wins it 27-26. In overtime, Lancaster beats Richland Northeast 21-14. And let's see, Gaffney beats Spartanburg. Did we have this final yet? I don't think so. I think this is the first time we've gotten a final. Gaffney beats Spartanburg 28-21. And we told you Dorman over Burns 33-21. Let's see here. What else have we not mentioned? Did that. Somerville over Goose Creek 48-0. Berkeley 54, St. James nothing. Myrtle Beach 28, Cane Bay 21. Camden 43, Dreer nothing. Hartsville 27, Wilson 21. And that's it. That's it for now. And we'll hit the break and come back with more reports. Lou Bajak, scoop of the state. David Shelton, Lou Bajak is making his season debut on the high school scoreboard tonight.
Well, that's exciting.
I'm excited. I'm about to wet my pants. I'm so excited to have Lou with us.
It smells like he already has.
Smarty. And we'll be back after this break.
Football season is upon us, and that means Columbia is welcoming fans from around the corner and across the country. No matter where you're from, Gamecocks love coming together for game day energy that can only be found in South Carolina's capital city. Book hotel rooms, find pre- and post-game activities, and plan your tailgate spread with local favorites from pimento cheese to barbecue at experiencecolumbiasc.com. We'll see you soon, and go Gamecocks!
Maybe your credit's seen better days, or maybe it's just never been quite where you want it to be. At Founders Federal Credit Union, we get it. Life happens. Things don't always go according to plan. But that doesn't mean your goals are out of reach. Whether it's a car to get to work or a little extra breathing room in your budget, we offer personal and auto loans to help you move forward. With flexible terms and a team that treats you like a person, not a number. We take the time to understand because you don't need a perfect credit score to start your next chapter. Visit a local Founders office or foundersfcu.com to learn more. Founders, helping you do life on your terms, helping you build a brighter financial future. All it takes is one visit to foundersfcu.com to get you started. Relax. You've got this with Founders. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hosseller Brown. Did you know Lawyer Lisa offers a prevention plan add-on to our services? If you already have a trust or just need some updates, ask about getting your ducks in a row and getting all of your wishes set out before it's needed. Visit lawyerlisa.com for more information.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at scattle.org. Beef. It's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff Program.
Always be home, sweet home to me. Oh, Rocky Top. Everybody knows that song. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Okay, I got some more finals here from the Low Country from Channel 4 News. Their scoreboard, Oceanside Collegiate over Atlantic Collegiate by a final of 47-0. Waccamaw 42, Stall 12. White Knoll 40, Fort Dorchester nothing. Bishop England 52, Woodland 6. Bethune-Bowman 28, Military Magnet 8. Baptist Hill 20, First Baptist 7. Hanahan 36, Andrews 22. As you heard earlier, Northwood upset Hammond 23-10. Porter-Gaud loses to Heathwood. Heathwood Hall 22, Porter-Gaud 21. Myrtle Beach 28, Cane Bay 21. Berkeley 54, St. James nothing. All right, and let's see what else we've got new here. From the Midlands, Pillion 48, Eau Claire 30, Batesburg, Leesville 41, Mid-Carolina 24. They played last night. And with that, let's get back to reports as we go to Kevin Selman, the voice of T.L. Hanna. Yellow Jackets tonight had to do you get paid extra when you go into overtime? 28-21 over Malden. Kevin Selman. Kevin, I think we got the wrong line here. Who is this? I think we got the wrong line here, Plumber. Let's try this.
Hello.
This is Kevin Selman. Wake up, Plumber.
Sorry. I'm here. I was flabbergasted by the smell in here.
Okay, good. 28-21 in overtime. My very cute lead into you was, do you get paid extra for overtime?
Well, can you hear me, Phil?
We can hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay, I can barely hear you. Yeah, no, I wish. I tell you, it was a weird game from start to finish. We talked about it in our pregame show, coming off that big emotional win over Greenwood last week, and then we got, which has been our region rival, Hillcrest next week. I hope we don't let that play into tonight. But sure enough, it was a weird night all around for the Jackets. We started off strong, returned the opening kickoff, 85 yards for a touchdown to go up 7-0, and we looking at each other like, okay, well, we don't have to worry about that. The next thing you know, we end up with we have 4 turnovers, over 100 yards in penalties. Not your typical Hannah performance tonight. We led 21-7 at half. Malden fought back to tie it, to send it to overtime. We were able to pull away, but just a weird night. I don't know what it is, but when we play Malden, weird things happen. And tonight was no different.
How much on the ground for you guys tonight?
We had only 256 yards on the ground tonight on 40 carries, so a little over 6 yards a carry, which is still good for most teams. But for Hannah, 256 yards is not your typical night. We did throw the ball 5 times. We completed 3 for a touchdown. Unfortunately, the two times that we didn't complete, they were intercepted. So again, like I said, it just wasn't a great night. But at the end, we were able to pull away and set up the region showdown next week with Hillcrest.
Yeah, that should be big. Anybody have a huge night running the ball for you individually?
It was a balanced attack like normal. We didn't have anybody over 100 yards. We had 6 or 7 players with 50 yards ish in that range. Just a balanced attack, but like normal, just like normal. But other than the turnovers and the lack of defense tonight, it was just one of those nights for the Jackets. But when you can have an off night and still find a way to win, that you come away thankful for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate the report. Big one next week. We'll look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you, Phil. We'll call in next week. Have a good one.
You too, man. Thank you very much. Greenwood
Bye-bye.
beat Hillcrest 24-20. That's a recent final. And Ware Shoals over Clear Dot Charter 24-0. BHP over Chapman 45-0. Dorman ended up beating Burns 33-21. Boiling Springs 42, Eastside 17. And Broome over Blacksburg 40-7. All those scores in the upstate. Let's go to Lou Bajak. There we go. Yeah. Lou Bajak, who was at that North Augusta and Gray game tonight. Lou, it's great to hear from you.
Appreciate it. Finally, sorry about not getting in. I'm glad to get in this week, and a good game tonight. Great collegiate, a big win, knocking off Hannah and North Augusta. It's first loss of the season.
What about this Gray team? I mean, this is the kind of game that can bring them. Well, I'm sure they're already together, but I mean, really kind of elevate them in their own thinking about what they might be able to do.
Yeah, I think so, and they think they found their quarterback of the future and quarterback now, a freshman, Xavier Wright, 5 touchdown passes tonight, to over 300 yards. Just a great game. Royce Williamson, the son of Troy Williamson, one of two of his sons that played for Gray. He had 2 touchdown passes, 2 touchdown catches, and picked up. Make them throw the ball a little bit more.
What about that Doe kid from North Augusta? What'd you think of him?
He's really good, man. He hits that hole so quick, and their offensive line's really good. They got the Gaston kid that's committed to Liberty, but he is so quick when he hits that hole, man. He several big explosive plays tonight, and he's just fun to watch. Got to see him in the scrimmage earlier this year, but this was really fun just to see him explode like he did.
Lou, you just made our week by joining us here tonight on the High School Scoreboard. I hope you'll make this a a regular.
Yes, I definitely will. I got things in order now, so we're good.
Hey, we thank you. Of course, I know it's hard to get through, and people try. They can't get through, and I get it. But we will talk to you next week, if not sooner.
All right, Phil. Appreciate you.
Thank you. You too, Lou. Hey, of course, David, you know the real reason he called is because the Browns beat the Packers last week. So he
is that why he called?
He felt comfortable. He's a big Browns fan, isn't he?
I thought he's a Steelers fan.
I always get that confused with him. Maybe he is a Steelers fan. Well, then he's calling because he's got Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback. What about? What about this great team though? Before we hit the break, got about 30 seconds. You think they're going to make a deep run when we get to postseason?
I think they're potentially one of the teams that could make a deep run. You know, again, depth is going to be important for a lot of these 4A teams, and Gray is, you know, they're 4A, but they're 2A enrollment kind of thing, but because of the multiplier. But they definitely got two quarterbacks now, and it'll be interesting to see how they manufacture and navigate that situation.
All right, we'll be back with more scores, reports, more from David Shelton. Don't go away. Be right back.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces. Summer sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Ron Taylor. Shane Tamura, the gunman in a deadly shooting at the targeted MFL's New York office, had a brain disorder.
Back in July, the 27-year-old former high school football player shot and killed 4 people inside a Manhattan office building that houses the NFL's headquarters before taking his own life. Among the victims were a police officer, a security guard, and 2 office workers. One NFL employee was badly wounded but survived. Tamura accused the league of downplaying the risks of football and hiding evidence of brain injuries. A 3-page note found in his wallet revealed his self-diagnosis and urged the study of his brain. The medical report says Tamura had unambiguous diagnostic evidence of low-stage chronic traumatic encephalopathy. I'm Jennifer King.
Sinclair Broadcast Group Friday said it's returning Jimmy Kimmel Live to its ABC stations, ending its preemption of the late-night show over remarks he made in response to the shooting death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
Sinclair said in a Friday statement the show will air on its ABC affiliates tonight. The statement read, quote, "Our objective throughout this process has been to ensure that programming remains accurate and engaging for the widest possible audience. We take seriously our responsibility as local broadcasters to provide programming that serves the interests of our communities while also honoring our obligations to air national network programming. It was pressure from station owners Sinclair and Nexstar that initially forced Disney to take Kimmel's show off the air." Bernie Bennett reporting.
The Supreme Court is extending an order that allows President Trump's administration to keep frozen nearly $5 billion in foreign aid, handing him another victory in a dispute over presidential power. The court acted Friday on the Republican administration's emergency appeal in a case involving billions of dollars in congressionally approved aid. Surrounded by critics and protesters at the United Nations, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told fellow world leaders that Israel must finish the job against Hamas in Gaza. News and analysis at townhall.com.
The Federal Reserve just cut interest rates, and that could be big news for the price of physical gold and silver. That's why Advantage Gold invites you to call 800-741-GOLD. Call now and you'll get your free gold and silver information kit, and you could qualify for up to $10,000 in free gold and silver with your IRA or 401k rollover. Advantage Gold has been ranked the #1 gold company in America for the last 10 years, and with the U.S. dollar facing serious devaluation, now is the time to act. We've partnered with former IMF chief economist Kenneth Rogoff, and when you call 800-741-GOLD, you'll also receive his best-selling book, Our Dollar, Your Problem, absolutely free. Gold and silver are real, tangible assets that have protected wealth for centuries. Advantage Gold helps you move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals, tax-free and penalty-free. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call 800-741-4653 now. That's 800-741-GOLD.
A Texas man has been executed for killing his girlfriend's baby in 2008.
Blaine Malam was put to death Thursday by lethal injection at the state penitentiary in Huntsville.
He was condemned for the murder of 13-month-old Amora Carson. Prosecutors say Malam savagely beat and strangled the little girl in a, quote, exorcism to expel a demon from the child's body. Child's mother, who was convicted of murder for helping Malam, is now serving life in prison without the possibility of parole. Jason Walker reporting.
For 2 weeks, Memphis has been bracing for an influx of National Guard troops after the president announcing his intention to deploy them to the city. Yesterday, residents finally learned more about that plan. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee says additional federal law enforcement agents will focus on crime in Memphis starting next week. He said at a news conference alongside city officials that it will arrive in phases, including the National Guard. More at townhall.com.
Hi, I'm Tazima. Join me every Saturday at 11 a.m. for Small Business Saturday. We'll celebrate business owners in our community while learning their stories of success and failure. It's Small Business Saturday right here at 100.7 The Point.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces. Summer sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com.
It's Friday night in South Carolina, and that means high school football across the Palmetto State. Welcome to the Founders Federal High School Scoreboard on the Sports Talk Media Network. We'll bring you scores and reports from every region of the state with expert analysis from David Shelton and interviews with coaches throughout the night. The High School Scoreboard is proudly brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders. Now, from the Scoreboard Studios in Columbia, here's your host, Phil Kornbluth.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. It is the High School Football Scoreboard right here on the Sports Talk Media Network, and we're brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. David Shelton is with us. We have the plumber, Josh Cohen, doing his thing behind the board. Folks are waiting to give us more reports on games. We're going to go through all the finals. We've got most of the state in with final scores. Got a few that we're missing. We're working to get those to you as quickly as we can. Before we do that, I want to go to the phones and welcome in from Little River Electric Cooperative, Mr. Bobby Hamby, who's been with us before here on the High School Football Scoreboard, as he keeps an eye on high school football in his neck of the woods, as well as, I'm sure right now, the weather and everything affecting the electric cooperatives around the state. Mr. Hamby, Bobby, great to have you with us. How are you?
Hey, man, I am doing well. Glad to be back on your show. Certainly appreciate the opportunity, as always. And, yes, it's funny you mentioned that. I was reading an article that Statewide had produced about Helene from last year. Because, you know, we're right on the eve of the one-year anniversary of it. And, of course, we got one brewing right in the Atlantic as we speak right now. But reading an article that was read up and about Little River and everything. And so, yeah, it was a humbling experience, to say the least, no doubt.
Well, some areas are still trying to recover from that. It was such a freakish storm, the way it, moved through the upstate and into the mountains of North Carolina. We just don't see storms like that come through here, that part of the state, every day.
No, you're right. I had told some friends of mine. I said, I've helped, and I don't work a lot for the co-op with my position there and everything, but when I go out, it's pretty bad if they call me. And I've seen tornadoes come through. I've seen, ice storms and so forth and everything. And I said, I will take a tornado or an ice storm over a hurricane any day. This is words cannot express the devastation that the entire state and all the co-ops, not just us at Little River, but, from one end of the state to the other, pretty much went through. And it was an eye-opening experience, to say the least.
What's your advice to people with the storm brewing and parts of the state, apparently, if this thing holds to form, is going to slam into the state sometime next week. Of course, you never know. Things can change in a few days, we hope. But you got any advice for people in preparation?
Well, yeah, and only because I've kind of learned, from last year or whatnot and everything. But I guess my biggest advice is, for your average family or whatever, to stock up on some non-perishable type foods, something that you maybe can open up and just eat directly or whatever. Something don't maybe not have to be refrigerated. Stock up on that. If you can afford a generator, I advise you to buy a generator to have on standby just in case. For people that's on, and I see this a lot working with the co-op, people ask the question, how can we prepare if we're on a medical alert or oxygen or something like that? And really, a lot of people being on fixed incomes and everything, they can only do so much, but maybe have a place that you can go if you don't have enough backup, oxygen tanks or something, and maybe set it up with I don't know if the hospital will allow something like that, but just try and stay prepared as best you can, and maybe have a friend's house that you can go to that has a generator, or something, to that effect and everything. There's not a whole lot you can really do as far as preparing, but there are some things out there that you can do. Fill your cars up with gas before it gets close. Stock up on some gasoline and propane and so forth and everything. Other than that, pray to the good Lord and trust in Him. He got us through this last one, and He'll get us through whatever else is coming, in my opinion. Absolutely.
Are you still doing 96 high school football games?
I am. I'm going into my 5th year of broadcasting for 96. It's funny, we started out in 2020 just doing football, and now I do baseball, softball, football, some basketball games, and we actually did 2 volleyball games last year. Our varsity girls volleyball played they won Upper State. We broadcast it, and then I sent 2 guys. I couldn't go for the state championship game, and they actually broadcasted the state championship game in volleyball. So I try and do as much as I can down there, with that and everything. And it's been a blessing for me to be able to do that. I have 2 kids that go to school at 96.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, we live in Abbeville. My wife teaches there. Both my kids have won state championships in marching band, so I get to see them on Friday nights when I'm in the press box doing my thing with ball games. So I'm just blessed. I am absolutely blessed. I'm thankful every day for the opportunities that I got with it and everything. We just got to get the varsity football rolling a little bit better than what it's been doing.
Yeah, it's been there before, and it'll come back around. Feel free to call us, after your games on Friday nights to tell us the story of the 96 team that night. Love to hear from you.
I would love to do that. Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, I appreciate you guys having me on, and love to come on and talk anytime. I just enjoy doing it.
Well, we thank you. Of course, the electric cooperatives, part of Touchstone Energy and the Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl game coming up in December. We'll be a part of that. So we'll be checking in with guys like you all across the state throughout the rest of the season. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank y'all very much. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, Bobby. Great hearing from you. David Shelton, are you preparing for the storm down there like you should be?
No, I actually, when you started talking about it, I was like, what? Storm? What? So I'm while he's talking, I'm Googling the weather. I did not know anything about a storm. I feel confident that we'll survive it, but I might go pick up a couple things of water and such just in case.
Yeah, always be prepared. So we had Bobby on, of course, and we've got the rosters for the Touchstone Energy Bowl. Shrine Bowl rosters now, supposedly they were going to come out on the 25th, the day after Touchstone Energy rosters. Now they're coming out, I understand, on Sunday afternoon. So I guess that's when we're going to find out the Shrine Bowl team and see who's on there. I guess we can pretty much make some assumptions because of who were not included on the North-South rosters, who's going to be on the Shrine Bowl roster?
Yeah. I was actually looking at the North-South rosters the other day, trying to say, okay, this guy was really good and he didn't make this game, so he must be on the Shrine Bowl team, or he opt out of the All-Star games and won't be on either one. There'll be a couple of names that I'll look for immediately because, like the quarterback at Stratford has had a really good year.
Mm-hmm.
He's committed to Liberty. He's leaving school. I mean, he's enrolling there early. But I don't know if he made the Shrine Bowl and if he would stay and play. If he didn't make it, I would assume that he let them know that. But I would assume that a lot of these kids, if they're not going to play in it, that they would let them know. Hopefully, that's the case. Guys like Currents at South Point I don't know if he could go to South Carolina early if he's gonna go in December, but he certainly obviously is a Shrine Bowler. Kenton Caldwell at Newberry, I'm kind of interested to see if he shows up on that Shrine Bowl list. But you never know. I've said it before, and I've said about North South. It's not just one All-Star game. There are a buddy system, and there are players that make it because of who their coach knows or whatever. But for the most part, you're getting the best players in the state.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to reporters who have called in. We appreciate you very much. Hugh Gray with the story tonight. Been following, of course, the Newberry Bulldogs, who are having a great year. And Hugh joins us now to give us the report on their game tonight. Newberry and, well, Hugh, just fill us in on everything that went down in your game tonight. What's the story?
All right, sure, Phil. Newberry went down to Saluda to take on the Tigers, and it was a back-and-forth first quarter. Of course, it was raining hard for a good part of the first half. So the first quarter didn't see any scoring, but O'Marion Wicker for the Dogs intercepted a Bray Williams pass late in the quarter. The Dogs took the ball on their own 15, drove 85 yards, and with about 11:40 to go in the halftime, scored to make it 7-0. The next Saluda drive, again, Bray Williams throws an interception deep in Newberry territory. Jamel Howes actually made the interception, brought it out of the end zone, and Newberry starts to drive on their own 1-yard line. They get to midfield, and Kenton Caldwell throws a beautiful pass to Jameer Crooks for a 47-yard touchdown. It's 14-0 with 5:23 left in the half. Saluda goes 4 and out, and then Newberry gets the ball with 2:47 left in the half and drives from their own 21 to the Saluda 27. Again, beautiful pass from Kenton Caldwell to Jameer Crooks, and it's 21-0 with 40 seconds to go in the half. That's how the half ends. Saluda's first drive, again, ends in an interception, and Newberry takes it 62 yards, capped off by a Kenton Caldwell 12-yard run on a 4th and 1. It's 28-0 with about 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. Again, and you hear a theme of the fourth interception, and this again, it's at the 1-yard line, and Newberry drives 99 yards in 10 plays. Caleb Johnson scores on a 5-yard run. It's 35-0, and then Saluda gets on the board late in the fourth quarter. A long touchdown run by Tristan Daniels with 3:55 to go, but that's how it ended, 35-7.
Wow!
And I was really glad to hear David talk about Ken Caldwell, because he is really something to watch.
Absolutely. So all four, if I'm correct from what you were saying, all 4 interceptions led to touchdowns?
Yes, sir.
Wow. That's That's complimentary football right there. You hear coaches talk about that. Defense does something,
Sure is.
offense does something. So that's terrific play and big win there over a rival Saluda. What's up next for you?
Silver Bluff. They had a big night tonight, I think,
They
down
did.
in the Low Country.
They did.
In fact, your caller was calling in for Rick Gooding.
Yep.
And small world, Phil. Rick and I grew up together. I grew up in Allendale with Rick. We went to school together, and I listened to WDOG, the big dog, and his dad, Mr. Carl. So I hope Rick heals up quick.
That's awesome. Were you friends with Ken Berger back in the day?
He has a couple of years on me, but I did know him through a couple other folks.
Yeah, great writer, great person, Ken Berger. Always proud of his hometown of Allendale. You know, we had many discussions about the Highway 301 towns like Allendale and Latta and everything in between. Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
Good hearing from you. Talk to you next week. Hugh, we'll be back in just a moment.
Your home is where your memories live. It's where you laugh and where you love. We understand the importance of the valuables under your roof, tangible and intangible alike. So no matter what's around the corner, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for nearly 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise. Learn more at scfbins.com.
Call me, Alex Satterfield, at 803-749-9171 for all of your Midlands insurance needs.
Are you in the market for an auto loan? Move now. Get an auto loan from Founders Federal Credit Union now through October 31st, and you'll be entered to win up to $25,000 toward your qualifying auto loan and a $5,000 deposit into your Loyalty Select account. Loyalty Select is our highest yield savings account. Leave it there to grow or transfer it out to spend. And the best part? We'll be choosing monthly winners. So the earlier you get your auto loan, the more chances you have to win. So don't wait. Visit foundersfcu.com/auto to learn more or begin your auto loan application today. Not a Founders member yet? Visit us online or stop by an office to learn more about Founders and see if you qualify for membership. We have the financial tools you'll need and the personalized service you deserve. Relax, you're with Founders. Terms and conditions apply. Membership qualification required.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hosteller Brown. Did you know your will is designed for your assets to pass through the probate court? If you want to keep your loved ones out of court, a revocable trust is a great place to start. Visit lawyerlisa.com for more information and to see how we can help.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
Straight Up Sports is simply all sports, all the time. Straight Up Sports is a collection of retired and award-winning sports writers and sports broadcasters from around South Carolina. Like Bob Gillespie from the State Newspaper, Scott Kiefer from the Greenville News, and Mark Sturgis from ESPN Upstate. Straight Up Sports is about the stories, just like the days gone by with no editors nor managers involved. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter or online at straightupsports.net.
All right, welcome back. High School Football Scoreboard, Sports Talk Media Network, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Let's go to the Upstate, one of the big games of the night. It was that Dorman and Burns game over at the new Nixon Field at Burns, and two good teams. Justin Mathis joining us now from the Dorman Radio Network. And welcome in, sir, with the story on the Dorman win tonight. This game announces, I think, Dorman's arrival this year more than anything else. Would you agree with that?
I think that's a very fair, very good statement there, Phil. I think a lot of the I was hearing the chatter from other people who were talking to me coming into this one. They were talking about how everybody was leaning toward Burns, and I can kind of get it. I get it from their perspective, but it seemed like the Cavaliers had a chip from on their shoulders from the jump tonight. And, I mean, they came out, went on defense first, forced a Burns punt after about 5 plays. Then on the second play from scrimmage, Nick Means, the junior for the Cavaliers, rips off a 69-yard jaunt to pay dirt and puts the Cavaliers ahead 7-zip with 8:41 to go in the first quarter. Then Jabez Thomas picked off a Kane Rogers pass, which later set up a 45-yard Ransom Farr field goal for a 10-0 lead with 5.5 to go in the first quarter. But it wasn't long until Trace Segura found his way to the end zone as he scored on a 7-yard run, was set up by an 84-yard Jacoby Fuller kickoff return. But then Burns eventually went ahead 14-10 after Chew Harris caught a 8-yard touchdown pass with 11:25 to go in the half. But then Dorman went ahead what proved to be for good as Jabez Thomas came up with his 3rd interception in the last 6 quarters at that time, which was returned 30 yards the other way for a score, made it 16-14. Then another touchdown. Meek Slidell dropped back and threw a 9-yard bullet to Corey Cole on the right side of the end zone, made it 23-14 with 3.5 to go before the break. Then Dorman picked up some more points midway through the third on another 40-yard field goal from Farr, and Burns cut it to 26-21. Phil, as Chew Harris caught a screen pass and took it 68 yards to the house, and so it got interesting going into the fourth quarter. But after another turnover, I believe Zay Meadows came up with a fumble near midfield. The north-south selection for the Cavaliers came up with a fumble recovery near midfield. Dorman methodically marched away down and then punched it in out of the gate formation, as they call it, as Jabez Thomas did the honors and provided the final margin of 33-21 with 7:06 left in regulation. But all in all, Phil, just a great performance for the Cavaliers, and considering what they had to deal with just a couple weeks ago after that gut-wrenching loss at home to a really, really talented Greenwood team. Quite the bounce back as you move to 4-1 and, more importantly, 2-0 in arguably the toughest region in Region 2 5A.
No question about that. And, again, you have to credit the defense. How many turnovers did they force tonight?
5.
5 turnovers. And converted how many of them into points?
I want to say at least 2, possibly 3. I have to go back and double-check the numbers. Nick Means had a great night, had north of 170 yards rushing. Yeah, Jabez Thomas with his 2 interceptions. Zay Meadows with the fumble recovery. I mean, and I got to credit the Dorman offensive line. One of the cool things that Dorman did in the offseason, brought back in a longtime offensive line coach Michael Lancaster into the fold. And you can kind of see the dividends it's doing just with that group up front and the push they're getting off the ball. And also credit the move to bring in Jason Farmer as the offensive coordinator. So, I mean, and then you have 3 guys who played offensive line there, and it's like a little, I guess you could call it a brain trust of sorts on the offensive side of the ball. As Coach Jake Morris was an offensive lineman himself in high school and in college at North Greenville.
Yeah.
So,
all right, Justin, great win for Dorman University, and they kind of got their hands around the region right now, but there's a lot of work left. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. And quickly is Coach Morris' first win as head coach against Burns, and shout out to Bob Corley back in the WQUL studios.
The judge. Say hello to the judge.
Yes.
All right, man.
See you, Phil.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. David Shelton, so Dorman, I mean, handicap that region 2-5A. I'm so used to saying 2-4A. Region 2-5A now, handicap that.
Well, I think Dorman and Gaffney beating Spartanburg tonight. That's big. But I would be willing to bet maybe a double cheeseburger from Rush's.
Ooh.
Or some onion rings, that nobody in that region will finish undefeated. That they're just going to end up beating up each other.
Yeah.
Dorman and Gaffney have to play. Burns and Gaffney have to play. Spartanburg and Dorman have to play. Spartanburg, Burns have. I mean, I just, if a team finishes that region undefeated, then they ought to get a bye in the first round of the playoffs, because they're going to need some time to recoup and heal up, because there's about to be some wars over the next 4 weeks.
That's going to be fun. I mean, it's the old black and blue division of high school football in South Carolina, no doubt about it. And they got depth of 4 really good teams, and they always are really good. And they always battle each other tooth and nail for the region championship and positioning in the playoffs. Okay, we're going to run to the break, and we'll get more reports on the air when we come back. We're going to run through all the scores as well, as we have pretty much got everybody in. I got a couple of scores we're missing here and there, but we're working on it, especially the Low Country. Our Low Country reporting is not good tonight, Plummer. And we'll be back after the break.
Want to hear my success story? I'm Fran Halloran, the money coach. I'm celebrating a decade of partnering with The Point. It's one of the best decisions I ever made. I've used The Point to significantly grow my small business. It started with a meeting with Kevin Cohen. Do you own a small business? Are you on a limited budget? No problem. Reach out to Kev at 563-8558. Get a customized plan and start your journey to business growth with The Point today. Success is one call away. Take the leap.
Hello, this is Stacy Huff, host of Huff Nation Sports Zone, each and every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 100.7 FM, The Point, and also 1470 a.m. It'll be a fun trip around the world of sports. Huff Nation Sports Zone, check it out.
Hi, this is Sal from Grow Your Garden with Sal. Every Saturday at 8 a.m. on The Point, we'll give you tips on gardening and planting while showcasing local farms. Join us here Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. right here on The Point.
With SRN News, I'm Ron Taylor. The Supreme Court is extending an order that allows President Trump's administration to keep frozen nearly $5 billion in foreign aid, handing him another victory in a dispute over presidential power. The court acted yesterday on the administration's emergency appeal in a case involving billions of dollars in congressionally approved aid. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee says additional federal law enforcement agents will focus on crime in Memphis starting next week. The governor said at a news conference in Memphis that 13 agencies will arrive in phases, including the National Guard. He says the National Guard members will not make arrests unless local law enforcement officials request it. A medical examiner has confirmed that Shane Tamura, who killed 4 people in a Manhattan office tower this summer, was suffering from chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Tamura is a Las Vegas casino worker, shot himself in the chest after the July 28th shooting. This is SRN News.
This Panther Update is brought to you by UNC Charlotte.
The Panthers will have their first opportunity to stack victories as they play at New England on Sunday, coming off last weekend's victory over Atlanta. I'm Jim Zoki with a Panthers update after this.
Charlotte's momentum has a name, UNC Charlotte. 32,000 students strong, ranked among the nation's top 75 public universities, recognized at the highest level for research, unmatched access to Fortune 500 companies, built for a top-tier city. This isn't typical higher ed. The difference is scale. The difference is momentum. The difference is Charlotte, UNC Charlotte.
The Panthers hit what is essentially the quarter mark of the regular season as they visit New England on Sunday. The Patriots are led by second-year quarterback Drake May, the Charlotte native and former North Carolina star. He's currently 5th in the NFL in passing yards. And Panthers coach Dave Canales on what he sees in the young QB.
A big, strong athlete. He's got a phenomenal arm. He can run. And what I've seen him do is, in this limited sample size, but what I've seen him do is playing really clean football. And for the most part, just executing their offense, and he's got some special throws in there.
New England turned the ball over 5 times and losing to Pittsburgh 21-14 last week. Meanwhile, the Panthers come in off their 30-0 shutout of the Falcons. Starting tight end J.T. Sanders suffered a high ankle sprain in that one. He'll be out for several weeks. That means more reps for Tommy Tremble, who assesses the Patriots' defense under first-year coach Mike Vrabel.
I mean, those guys are an active group, whether it's the linebacker, safeties, seeing them in the box, we see how active they are as a group. And I think as long as we're on alert, on our toes for the entire game and knowing our jobs, I think we should be fine.
I'm Jim Zoki on the Carolina Panthers Radio Network.
This Panther Update has been brought to you by UNC Charlotte, ranked among the nation's top 75 public universities. The difference is Charlotte. UNC Charlotte.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Greg is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
Hi, I'm Greg. I'm not an actor. I'm just a regular person. 8 years ago, I just didn't feel like I was on my game. I started taking Prevagen, and I want people to know that Prevagen has worked for me. Give it a try. I want it to help you just like it has helped me.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
All right, welcome back to the high school football scoreboard. Got more reporters coming up in just a moment. We've pretty much got all the scores in from across the state with a few that we're still trying to get. But let's run through the scoreboard for you across the state, beginning in the upstate and working our way down. Pickens 63, Berea nothing, Broome 40, Blacksburg 7, Boiling Springs 42, Eastside 17, Dorman 33, Burns 21, Belton Honeypath 46, Chapman nothing, Hampton County. Christchurch 40. Christchurch 40, Hampton County 35. Ware Shoals 34, Clear Dot Charter nothing. Crescent 34, Liberty 27. Daniel 27, Seneca 16. Towns County, Georgia 27, Dixie 21. Greenville 24 nothing over Man. Greenwood 24-20 over Hillcrest. West Oak 27 nothing over Greenwood Christian. Blue Ridge 63, Landrum 28, Pendleton 41, Carolina 6, Newberry 36, Saluda 7, Carolina Forest 54, Southside Christian 13, Gaffney 28, Spartanburg 21, in overtime T.L. Hanna 28, Malden 21, Greer 30, Travelers Rest 7, Clemens 60, Union County nothing, Riverside 41, Wade Hampton 15, Westside 25, Abbeville 20. Easley 30, Woodmont 23, Wren 35, Woodruff 7. Need to go back here and spell Woodruff correctly. The R-U-F-F. There's 2 F's in Woodruff there, Plummer. Around the football city, I-77 corridor, Camden 43, Dreer nothing. Clover 27, Fort Mill 26, Indianland 33, Rock Hill 9. In overtime, Lancaster 21, Richland Northeast 14, Northwestern 56, Catawba Ridge 20, and AC Flora 27, York 6. Around the Midlands, Midland Valley 34, Brooklyn Casey 7, Fairfield Central 35, Andrew Jackson nothing, Gilbert 30, Aiken 13, Gray Collegiate 41, North Augusta 27, Bamberg Earhart 62, Hunter Connor Tyler 8, Chester 35, Keenan 6, Darlington 43, Lakewood nothing, Lexington 35, Lawrence nothing, Crestwood 27, Lower Richland 14, Sumter 57. Want to make sure I get this right. Sumter 57, Lugoff Elgin 42. 57-42. Batesburg Leesville 41, Mid Carolina 24. North Central 42, Buford nothing. Pillion 48, Eau Claire 30. Blythewood 46, Spring Valley nothing. Swansea 36, Columbia 6. And Ridgeview over Westwood 46-0. Still efforting on Denmark Olar Edisto, South Aiken Airport, Allendale Fairfax, Lake Marion. If indeed these games were played tonight, we see schedules, but we don't always have the games being played. CSRA, all we've got is Silver Bluff 49 and Barnwell 6. Still looking for Strom Thurmond in Lincoln County, Georgia, and Fox Creek and Williston Elko. If you got these scores, you can text them to us. Our text line number is 803-900-4847. 803-900-4847. In the PD Grand Strand, Hanahan 36, Andrews 22, Oceanside Collegiate 47, Atlantic Collegiate nothing. Carvers Bay 61, Greensea Floyd's 15, Central 34, Cheraw 27, Hartsville 27, Wilson 21, Johnsonville 28, Hanapanthico 7, Myrtle Beach 28, Cane Bay 21, Berkeley 54, St. James nothing. Still trying to get Lake City Kingstree and Manning East Clarendon, Low Country. Bishop England 52, Woodland 6, Cross 36, Branchville 8, Baptist Hill 20, First Baptist 7. White Knoll beat Fort Dorchester. Was it 33-0? I'm going to say it was 33-0. We'll double check that score. Just haven't put it on our sheet, but I know White Knoll won by a whole lot. I think it was 33-0. Check that out, Plummer. Double check that for me. White Knoll and Fort Dorchester. And report back to me. May River 38, Georgetown nothing. Bethune-Bowman 28, Military Magnet 8. Scotts Branch 54, St. John's nothing. Waccamaw 42, Stall 12. Somerville 48, Goose Creek nothing. Still looking for Battery Creek and Well Branch and Bluffton and Hilton Head. And in Skeeza, Northwood Academy 23, Hammond 10. Big surprise there. Well, maybe not a big surprise, but Hammond doesn't lose very often in state, as we know. Kings Academy 14, Palmetto Christian nothing. Pinewood Prep 56, Hilton Head Christian 21. Trinity Collegiate 27, Northside Christian nothing. And, David, is this possible? Florence Christian 3, Wilson Hall nothing?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible, but that would be an upset. Not a huge upset, but an upset.
Well, that is the score that we saw. I think we saw that on, I think it was the WPDE Channel 15 scoreboard. So that's what they are showing. I believe it was them. As I scan through here one more time to double check. Yep, they're showing Florence Christian 3 and Wilson Hall nothing. So we'll live with that for now. Okay, those are the scores that we've got, but we're going to try to fill out more finals as we go through the rest of the night. Let's go to Graham Simpson, voice of Greenwood High. And the Eagles fly high again tonight. Graham, terrific win, terrific ball game tonight.
Yeah, 24-20 for Greenwood. I mean, the difference really is Tristan Lewis. He had 315 all-purpose yards today. But the problem with the week before against Steele-Hennon was didn't have the game control. That was the difference tonight. We got the ball with about 2.5 minutes to go, up by 4, and Hillcrest didn't get another shot at it. There was a time in the game where Greenwood was still up by 4 with 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Hillcrest were getting the ball and the lights turned out. And it took us about 5 minutes to get the lights on. And then Hillcrest threw an interception on that drive, and Greenwood never surrendered the ball again. So that was the difference in the game. Jackson Free, the Hillcrest quarterback, played a great game. Greenwood got out to a 24-7 lead early in the second half. And Hillcrest, you got to give them credit. They always stayed in the game, 13 unanswered, but just wasn't enough in the end.
All right, so you see Tristan Lewis every game, probably every practice.
Yep.
And he's committed to South Carolina, and they like him as like a safety. But if you could sit down with Shane Beamer in his office and talk to him about Tristan Lewis as an offensive player, what would you tell him?
I think Tristan Lewis could be a good receiver. When it comes to being a quarterback, there's a lot of reads that you have to make at a high level, especially in the SEC, and he could definitely do it. He has the arm talent to do it. I mean, his fastball's on the baseball diamond's up to 93 miles an hour, so he's got all the arm talent in the world. But he played some safety tonight. I think he got about 5 or 6 snaps at safety. He would come in for third and longs, and he just has the safety mentality. Of course, the comparisons to DJ Swearinger are going to be there, and they're two different players, but mentality-wise, they're kind of the same. The hard nose, get in your face, talk a little smack, but be good while doing it. That's kind of Tristan Lewis. So when it comes to Shane Beamer, I'll tell him, he's a darn good quarterback, but I think his ceiling is way higher as a DB.
Okay. As always, we thank you. You got some big games ahead. Look forward to hearing from you.
That's right. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. David Shelton, Tristan Lewis, where do you put him among the best overall athletes in the States for this year?
I would say probably top 5. I would say I don't know who the candidates are for Mr. Football, but he would be one that I would put on that list. Kenton Caldwell, who's a very similar type player. At Newberry, I would probably put him top 5 overall athlete / football players. So Tristan certainly, he's one of the best in the state. There's no question. And, he doesn't have the quarterback skills that big time people or programs are going to look for.
Mm-hmm.
But his athleticism, I mean, I'm like you. I think wide receiver might be somewhere where they would look at him, but he is a hell of a safety. I mean, he's a hell of a deep. He's one of those guys you could bulk up and put it outside linebacker. I mean, he's a really good football player. I mean, if you pop in the huddle tape and watch him run, holy cow! I mean, he's special.
How about as a baseball player? You heard him say that he's up to 93 with his fastball.
Yeah, which shows that he's got a good arm. And I tell you what, if he gets into the 95 range this season, he may have to make a decision because pro scouts like 95 miles an hour on 18-year-olds.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. South Aiken beat Airport. We've gotten that final in now, 28-15. So we go to our next report. Oh, it's Travis Jenkins. Travis Jenkins with the story tonight on Fairfield Central and Keenan. Good to have you with us, sir. How are you?
Doing good, Phil. Chester and Keenan.
I'm sorry, Chester and Keenan. My bad. We could have you two places at once. Chester at Keenan. And Chester wins big. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say probably the best overall effort of the year for the Cyclones, 35-6. They win. They're running the wing T now, so they pretty much just want to run the ball and run the clock, and they did both pretty effectively tonight. They attempted one pass. They just didn't have to throw it, and they kept the clock moving to the point that we were done in about 2 hours and 10 minutes, and that was with an extra long halftime for Keenan's homecoming, which was so extra long they were assessed a delay game penalty to start the second half.
I saw your tweet on that. I couldn't, but they penalized the home team for a halftime that was too long.
Yeah, it was supposed to be 20 minutes, and they did the pretty dresses at with the homecoming festivities, and then the band played, and they just didn't stop, and they were awesome. They were rocking, but after the 20 minutes had elapsed, they just kind of kept going, and when the marching band refused to yield, is what I tweeted, and I think one person that follows me is old enough to have gotten the reference. But anyway, so Chester's made a couple of personnel tweaks here in the last couple of weeks. They've got Jacoby Wright-Starks splitting time at quarterback now with Damari Cockrell. Both of them played really well tonight. Both of them ran for a touchdown. Caleb Feaster had another big night. I had him with 157 yards on 8 carries, which is probably about his average, honestly. And defensively, where Chester has struggled a little this year is with teams that can throw the ball down the field, and Keenan just kind of wasn't able to challenge them in that way. They tried to run the ball and go with a more short passing game. And with the guys that Chester has up front, Luke Harris and Terry Radford, and then the speed at linebacker, you're kind of playing right into their hands if that's going to be the way you try to attack them. So, Keenan, I think in the second quarter, I think their quarterback kind of tiptoed down the sidelines and had about a 50-yard touchdown run, but that was about the extent of their offense all night. On top of playing quarterback, Jacoby Wright Starks picked off 2 passes for the Cyclones. So good win, 35-6. That evened them up at 3-3 going into region play next week. I think they open with Eau Claire.
Very good. By the way, do you happen to have picked up a Whitmire score tonight, or did they play?
I don't know if Whitmire played tonight.
Actually, we found it.
A lot of my teams were off. Louisville and Great Falls were both off tonight.
Yeah, we found it. Rich Spring Monetta 35-0 over Whitmire. So we just found it. Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
All right.
Talk to you next week. Thank you, Travis.
All right.
Travis. David, you ever heard that before? A penalty for a halftime that ran too long?
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Have you?
I've seen that. Yeah. You get 20 minutes, and then for some reason, they put 2 more minutes on the clock to stretch. And if you go past that, if that official was ready to roll and y'all are not ready, then yeah, you get a delay game penalty.
Yeah, those officials, man.
I've probably seen it. Over 30-something years, I've probably seen it 3 or 4 times.
Well, those officials, they don't get paid overtime. They're like, you're going to get my 48 minutes and we're out of here, brother. So, all right, thanks, Travis. Let's run to the last break, and then we'll come back with some more reports. We got Garrett Mitchell, who's going to tell us what the heck happened to Woodruff tonight, or tip of the cap to Wren for a great performance. Thomas Grant with the story on the Westwood game tonight, right here in the Midlands. We'll keep looking for more finals and passing those on to you. If we get any more, we've pretty much got them all. And we'll be back after the break.
Football season is upon us, and that means Columbia is welcoming fans from around the corner and across the country. No matter where you're from, Gamecocks love coming together for game day energy that can only be found in South Carolina's capital city. Book hotel rooms, find pre- and post-game activities, and plan your tailgate spread with local favorites from pimento cheese to barbecue at experiencecolumbiasc.com. We'll see you soon, and go Gamecocks!
Has your credit seen better days? At Founders Federal Credit Union, we get it. Life happens. That's why we offer personal and auto loans that help you move forward. With flexible terms and a team that sees more than just a number. You don't need perfect credit to start your next chapter. Visit foundersfcu.com or a local office today. Founders, helping you do life on your terms. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at sccattle.org. Beef, it's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff program.
When South Carolina's best high school football players take the field at the Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, they're backed by a powerful team of their own. As proud title sponsors, your local co-ops celebrate more than just a game. It's a tradition where talent shines, where teamwork matters, and where community spirit takes center stage. Don't miss the 78th Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, December 13th at Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium in Myrtle Beach, powered by your electric cooperative.
It would be okay to play the South Carolina or Clemson fight song from time to time. I mean, we are in the state of South Carolina.
I thought that was strongly forbidden on the
show. No.
I mean, we could definitely play the Presbyterian fight song.
We could.
I mean, that's...
We don't have good quality on that, though. We need,
Well, the piano version, I mean, that's the only one we have.
That doesn't go across.
Maybe I can go up there for a game and get a good recording on it.
That does not inspire the piano version of the undefeated David Shelton, the undefeated Presbyterian Blue Hose. Your thoughts?
Good for them.
We need the energy, David.
Undefeated, ranked 25th in the country. All right, let's go to Garrett Mitchell. Thank you, Garrett. And Woodruff, every once in a while you're going to lay an egg. They laid.
Well, I tell you what, Phil. That's pretty much what happened tonight. You were musing earlier about whether Woodruff had 1 F or 2. I tell you what, tonight make it 3 because that's the grade I have to give my own team tonight.
That's a great line. That's a great line. But you have to credit Wren. I mean, was it more Wren doing something to you?
It was really just an amalgamation of different things. Wren played really well. I've been following them. It's probably the best that they've played all year. And then Woodruff's kind of banged up right now. We actually had 2 starters out sick that I was not aware of. And we've got a couple more that are nursing their way back from injury. Good news is we should have everybody but 1 starter back next week. But, credit to Wren. They played well defensively. We got down inside their 30 multiple occasions, and they bowed up and they stopped us. So you've got to give credit to them. Their running back, Muntu Brown, number 7, he's a load. He's hard to bring down, and he ran the ball really well. So Wren, they won it fair and square. We did not play well. We laid an egg. So it's really a combination of the 2 factors, but rather it happen now than region play, which starts next week. And, we've been rolling along so well. If this is the wake-up call they need, then so be it. I can live with it.
There you go. Okay. Hey, thank you, Garrett. We'll talk to you next week. Appreciate it.
Right. And Phil, I've got to give a hat tip to Travis Jenkins before I go.
Yeah.
Because if the marching band refused to yield, then I guess today was not the day the music died.
No, it wasn't. They kept it alive and well. All right. Thank you very much. Good job. I like that, David. 3 Fs. He gave Woodruff 3 Fs in their name tonight. Go ahead, David. We had you off there for a second.
I said, yes, he did. He officially changed the spelling for one night.
For one night. They'll bounce back. Let's go
they'll be good.
Let's go to Thomas Grant's. Tonight he saw Ridgeview take it to Westwood, 46-8. Thomas, we got about 2 minutes, so just sort of summarize for us, how good did Ridgeview look tonight?
Well, basically, all this was tonight because of the weather. It was all about the ground game for Ridgeview, and that's what they did from the opening tip, taking advantage of the 5, 6 guys. I mean, the offensive line averages over about 6 feet and about close to 250, 275. And for the most part, they used that to just overwhelm Westwood from the opening tip. I mean, really, it was 32-0 close to the end of the second quarter.
Ooh.
3 of the touchdowns were scored by Ryan Williams.
How much did they run for tonight, would you say? Did you have the numbers on that?
Well, from looking, I would guesstimate probably at least 200 as a team for the most part. I mean, most of the offense all occurred in the first half. In fact, the only score that Westwood had, and this was probably the play of the game actually, was they on first down at their own 25. Devon Howard was able to break into the open field, and he got to midfield. There was no one there except for a Quincy Grant for Ridgeview, who was able to somehow chase him down and stop him at the 1-yard line to prevent him from scoring. That just held off the score for about 2 plays where Westwood was able to get their only score on a touchdown pass from Carrington Carter. But this is like the second time I've seen this kid chase down literally someone from his own line of scrimmage. The kid's literally looking like he's going to go score, and he's able to chase him down. I guess that's the benefits when you have someone that's on a state championship track program.
Yeah.
So for the most part, it was from there. Ridgeview was able to get a couple of touchdowns, and they were able to basically win their 10th straight against Westwood, dating back to 2015. So now they go and play the next 2 weeks. Both teams actually end up playing Spring Valley the next 2 weeks, and Ridgeview, I guess, you puts them in a position where they're tied with Sumter. And so it's going to be sort of interesting in a couple of weeks when those two teams play each other. It definitely looks like that region title will be on the line when that matchup takes place.
I look forward to it, and we thank you as always. Great job. We'll talk to you next week. That is Thomas Grant. Thank you, Thomas, from the Prep Red Zone, covering Midlands area teams and good. Ridgeview, David, got to be someone to watch as well, don't you think?
Oh yeah, that Sumter game. You know, they played Dutch Fork close. That game with Sumter. Sumter has been beating the crap out of people. But in Ridgeview, didn't the Gaffney quarterback, isn't that where he transferred to?
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know if he'll be eligible by that game or not, but their quarterbacks have done pretty well. But before we go, the stat of the night that I wrote down was Newberry had 2 99-yard scoring drives tonight. You'd never see that.
We got to run. Great job, David. Thank you, everybody. See you next week.